Open the meeting of the December 12th Littleton Board of Health meeting. So administrative matters before we jump into the various things. Any board member reports or updates?
You have any?
All right.
The only thing is that Lisa Flanagan brought up the opiate epidemic.
Yes. Yeah.
And it looks like there's been an effort in town. There's a Facebook page up that's active, and I can't remember who the collaboration was with, but it looks like that's the town is made some effort on that side. I think it was the Board of Selectmen. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's giving out a lot of information on health and where health services, mental health services, and addiction services are available.
Yep. Okay. Gino, anything?
Well, I concur about the opiates because Rotary is involved with opiates, and to the point where we invite the governor at the meeting, and he's concerned about also because so many people dying, so he's controlling now. And the medical, they're only allowed to have so many, not like before they used to give you 50, 100 of those pills. And 165 people die already this year. So just to give you an idea, so I think the state government is involved and the federal government, they're gonna put like $7 billion into it. So whatever we can do to help out. I was involved in Littleton to pass through the school about 2,000 leaflets about what the drugs does, and the parents should be aware of it. That's all we can do, you know what I mean? You can lead the horse to the water, but if he doesn't drink it, there's not much we can do.
The police department, what, once a year does pill disposal as well?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I've had a couple of surgeries and shoulder surgeries, and I've dumped that stuff. I don't even
My
take
daughter,
them.
my daughter the same way.
Gotten rid of them. Okay, anything else? We don't have any minutes.
I have an administrative.
Okay.
Did Shelley send you an email about signing the escrow agreement that I've got
Yes.
here for you to do?
Yep, and why don't we take care of that so you can
Okay.
roll, because that's not part of the thing, that's just administrative
So
things.
I've got a copy for each of them for you.
I thought we signed that.
That's the copy.
What was-
The original to sign.
What did we sign last time? Or 2 meetings ago, I
We
guess?
did the, we did the
We signed
conversion,
Permit.
the permit and the conversion over for the drip line.
Okay, but the
And then
escrow
These
was...
are the escrow agreements for the homeowners association.
Okay.
Those are the two originals. Here are your copies. You'll see that the bank has signed it. Michael and I have signed it.
You correctly were aware of it, but just.
Yeah,
it
I
just
think it
makes
was
sure-
on
Yeah,
the
you just
permit
make
or
sure that
something.
we get
Yeah,
it.
so this is just a legal document. So we need to sign this so you
Yes.
can put it on record.
Yes.
What are you doing now? What are you later?
No, this falls under administrative, so go ahead. You need a
Somebody
pen?
have- Yeah, thank you.
I was gonna give you mine, but, yeah. You
Your
use mine.
fancy pen? Look at that fancy pen.
The bank, the new bank.
All right, so what I'm gonna sign right here beside you. Yeah,
There's one more to sign right there.
Yeah.
That
Right in
one
front of
has to
Gina.
be signed as well.
your lady first.
2 more pages.
Oh, I'm
Last
sorry.
page, Gina.
They say 12, right? Yeah.
Yeah, today is the 12th, right. Sign over there. Put the date.
And
When I come by, look.
Come on.
Yeah, with this weather we're having, thanks a lot.
It's-
So do you need these back and
I
you're,
need the originals to take to record.
okay, and
Those are, and then I'll drop them off.
then you'll take
Yep.
them out to Shelley, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
the attorneys.
You're just stealing my dollar pen, man.
You don't like that pen?
Okay, yeah, all right, very good.
You have a good day.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Night.
You don't want to stick around and
It'll be
watch?
icy out.
No, I've had enough Board of Health.
Hey, be careful driving, it's gonna be
Yeah.
very icy.
Okay, any other updates? We don't have minutes to approve.
No.
Um,
Put the other thing in.
So I'm trying to figure out if I need to sign this for 38 Orchid Drive, this
Well, this is a,
removal of a deed restriction.
well, the, was
It's not on here.
No, I know, what I'm saying, if it doesn't say it, you can sign it.
Yeah, I think I'm supposed to sign this, so.
Is it on the
Otherwise,
agenda?
No.
She would have mentioned otherwise.
No. All right. Did we, see, we don't have minutes, so I can't remember from the last meeting, frankly. Did we at the last meeting approve the appointment of John Wales to the,
The question is, he doesn't even know when he was, but we can still appoint him. He didn't know when he was, the gentleman that is supposed to be appointed, he didn't know when he was appointed, the date and the year. So we just reappoint him,
oh, okay.
okay?
So we need to make a motion to approve the appointment of John Wales to the Littleton Volunteer Corps?
Make a motion to appoint that, what's his name?
John Wales.
John Will.
Oh, second.
All right, we have a seconded motion, all in favor of John Wales
Aye.
to the Littleton. You guys always step all over my line.
Sorry.
Jeez, all right,
No problem.
approved. All right. Takes care of that. What time do we have here?
7.
All right, we still got a few more minutes. Get this out of the way. It's 25 King Street? Is that?
No, I have an administrative. issue.
Okay,
Yeah.
then, yeah, then
Just
let's get to
wanna
that,
cut
please.
into your time.
Yeah,
I have Dave Guthrie, Turkey Farm. I have Lot 7, Turkey Farm. You folks released Lot 5 and 6
Mhm.
a month or so ago,
Mhm.
and you were contingent 7, I think, on the pipe,
Mhm.
relieving that pond. The planning chair and the vice chair decided the other night at the hearing that we would move that administratively pick it up on an as-built through a red line. Sherry had asked for that. I had asked the chair to send a note to Shelley, expressing that, so that you could release that tonight. I don't know if you received that,
I
or
don't know if we
I
have,
was hopeful she would be here.
well, she's in class tonight.
yeah.
If that's not in, I would ask that you would release it on your end, contingent on her confirming that
Yeah.
with the
I'll see
planning
her
board.
tomorrow morning.
Yeah. She'll need to talk to the planning board chair. I asked him to call her. I don't know if he did.
I don't know last time.
Yeah, there's no mention in her email, and I'm looking at the attachments. And there's no mention in there's nothing in the attachments.
You don't have
that I
nothing there?
see.
It's hard to release something if we don't know what we're voting on either. I don't have anything.
Well, I think there's two parts to this, and I certainly respect the fact that the board has asked for some determination from planning, but relative to, as Lot 7 sits on its own against Title V, it's fully compliant.
If it's fully compliant, why do we have it in front of us?
Someone on your board, well, because so it started with Lot 4, if you remember. I don't know if you were here as part of Lot
I've been through the
4.
whole thing.
The agent asked on Lot 4 for additional testing. Your board released it, conditioned that we test
Oh, I remember.
5, 6, and 7. We did that.
Right.
He did a bed bottom inspection, he did a sand bottom, he did a final inspection, but then he wouldn't sign off on our as-built. And he tried to come back into this farmer's pond that he said flooded last winter when our site wasn't stabilized. We didn't have all our storm drains in, we didn't have all our curbing in, and we didn't have our yard stabilized. Since then, our pond hasn't flooded. We then came back and said, you released 5 and 6, saying we'd like a determination because we're proposing to put an overflow pipe in on the pond, sort of belts and suspenders. And that's the piece that we worked out with the planning board the other night. I just don't know.
Hasn't get back to me anyway, because tomorrow morning when I come to give him the key, I just mentioned
So, yeah,
5 and
because,
7.
yeah, I don't think it was the last meeting.
No, it's a
I think
couple.
it was a couple meetings ago.
Yeah.
There was all the, so the, yeah.
I do remember that,
Yeah, we sent back and said, you know, the conservation, so it sounded like things were going down the right road, or at least the proposal, but that hadn't been reviewed, as I understand, from the planning board yet, and,
Correct. My point is, we acquiesced to you holding Lot 7 in
Yeah.
lieu of this pipe. The question is, under Title V, are you allowed to do so? And if so, what is the mechanism for doing so? We don't have a hold on Lot 7 from conservation, so conservation's not a factor. Planning released the lot, and now we've had to put in a Title V system that was fully inspected by your agent. He just chooses not to sign off.
So I don't think we have anything to vote on. There's no variance.
But I'll be there
It's-
if it needs to be signed.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I'll take the responsibility to sign it. I think you need only one signature.
So we'd need to hear from Jim, since he's the agent who's coordinating it.
yeah, because
You'd
I
have to
guess now
release it
I'm
if it's not
confused
a
about what the
variance.
holdup would actually be.
He doesn't want to sign off on 5, 6, or 7. You signed off on 5 and 6. He didn't want to sign off on any and all because he didn't know what was going on with the farmer's pond.
That's what Jim said to you?
Yes.
Well, that was the whole discussion, but I think,
Our argument is it's not part of the Title V regulation.
right.
So I don't know what mechanism he's using not to sign it, other than, you'd have to come up with a reason, I don't know. But it's not part of Title V, and he did a bed bottom inspection. If he had an issue with the system at that time, I would think the bed bottom would be it.
Yeah, there's quite a few boards involved in this, so I would feel more, just comfortable, like you said, just making sure we had input from Jim, and making sure that we're careful and
Can you give me your
it's done
phone
the way
number?
it's supposed to be.
Yeah, so go ahead, Gino.
Huh?
You can take care of it, talk with Shelley tomorrow. and-
Do you have any, can I use a piece of paper here?
Doesn't seem like we have to vote on anything.
No, I don't think so.
Why don't
Use the
you
back
use
of that.
this? Yeah,
Use the
yeah,
back of
really.
it. That's fine.
No, I don't think you have a vote.
Put your name and telephone number.
But
And
the agent's relying on you to sign off.
All right.
Yeah, I think what we did previously, at the last meeting or meeting before, whatever it was, we were okay with going ahead with 5 and 6. There was a time crunch with those
And then he took care
for
of this.
occupancy, as I understand it. 7, there wasn't,
At the time.
and we, at the time, and we were
Then you
looking
took care of it.
input from
Yeah.
Conservation Planning Board, that the plan drafted out, as you stated, the pipe and et cetera, was gonna be fine with them, and then we were gonna be fine.
That's lot
And it-
7, huh? Right.
And that was, since there wasn't a time crunch at the last meeting, or meeting before, whatever it was, we chose, there wasn't a need to
No, that's why I'm back.
do a contingency, but if that's been taken care of, and Shelley normally sends these sorts of things, she
And he-
didn't say anything, but Gino can straighten it out tomorrow and then take
Okay.
care of it.
Tomorrow morning.
So it should be
And
fine.
she will call you
Yeah.
while I'm here tomorrow morning.
Okay.
I think that's all you need is probably one signature. But if there is any,
If
Yeah.
more is needed,
Yeah,
Shelley
yeah.
can,
I think it's just one, because I think
Yeah.
John signed the other 2.
okay.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's just that one.
okay.
What time are you going to see Shelley?
At 9 o'clock, I have a meeting 8 o'clock, so 9:30 actually.
Okay, so
But it's a
I'll try and make
little-
sure she talks to Ed prior to that.
Yeah,
If they
yeah.
didn't talk today.
Yeah,
Okay.
just let her know that I'll be there 9:30.
Okay, all right, good, great,
You take
That
care.
good?
thank you.
All right, thank you.
The reason I'm back is we do have it sold, so that's why.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Became a
good.
crunch again.
Yeah,
No
no, that's, and that's,
I
that's
remember
fine.
when you came here with the other gentleman.
Yeah, okay.
All right, you have a good day.
I just realized Jim didn't include
Yeah, otherwise, we
one of the
would've got-
properties on our agenda, the
We
Park
would've got
Drive.
something from
Hold
Shelley.
on, hold on.
Okay.
What, so what, Gino?
We would've got something from Shelley, but I think we took care of it.
Yeah, yeah.
The question is, because she's not here, and she probably forgot to mention, because she always tells me
Yes.
something.
Yep,
She always tells me something,
yeah.
so.
We didn't get any notes from Jim on Park Drive, and it's on the agenda.
So, can I have this back? Park Drive is continued to January 9th.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay, thank you. I didn't want to draw it out if we didn't have the notes here.
Okay, so it's almost 7:20 now. I want to open the hearing for 25 King Street, Sewell Disposal Upgrade.
Good evening. Thank you.
Okay.
Are you responsible, that thing was done 2008, and it belonged to a friend of mine that we passed away. How many times do you really clean it? This,
Well, to be quite truthful, I believe before I became involved with it, there was a time that it wasn't probably maintained the way it should have been. And that's why we're here today.
The question
So-
is, let it not repeat that again, because you're gonna put everything new now, right?
So let's, we've got it, we've got some time, so let's
just
make
gonna-
sure we
Right.
connect all the dots, because
Sure.
it's pretty infrequent. So this, remind me again, 25 King Street, that's the
The gas
the
station.
gas station and where the Dunkin' Donuts is, stuff like that.
Correct.
And it has a car wash off to the side.
Yep, all right, so go ahead and shoot.
Okay, my name's Neil Gorman from David Ross Associates. We're the engineering firm that prepared the plan. This is Brian Trombley from,
Engineer.
so, the plan that I'm showing you here right now, this was the plan that's in the ground now that was built in 2008. What that system is, I'll just briefly go through. There's a grease trap, then it goes into a 2,000-gallon septic tank that, then into a second 2,000-gallon septic tank that houses the FAST system. Are you familiar with that? Then
No.
okay, a FAST system is an electronic component that introduces oxygen to the effluent before it goes to the leach field.
Okay.
So it's an alternative,
Like
an
a
approved
filter.
alternative system by DEP.
So, and that's because it's underneath cement instead of,
No, it's just because of the high flow and
okay,
and
so it's just
because-
adding extra oxygen because it needs it. for-
Yeah, they're trying, it's an alternative system that introduces oxygen before it goes to the leach field, which then gives the leach field some benefits in sizing traditionally.
Do you have
which is-
aerobic treatment before you get there?
Correct. So then the last tank here is the pump chamber, which sends out to this pressurized system. So the system that's in the ground now is a leaching bed under the pavement that has 6 inches of stone under the distribution pipes. The distribution pipes, I believe, are only 1.5 inches in size. To be pressurized, they're quite small. They're laying in the crushed stone. It's a 55 by 25-foot leaching system right now. And that system is in failure, which is backing up to here, which is causing the problem. So the leaching field is not leaching. It's saturated, it's not working properly anymore. So it needs to be replaced. So what we're proposing is a slightly different design because there is some newer avenues to pursue and some experience that we want to share. And what we're proposing is, rather than a traditional leaching system under the pavement, we're proposing a Presby enviroseptic leaching system under the pavement. And what I'm going to walk you through is why we're pursuing that avenue rather than replacing what's currently there now. So I'll just pass out some quick calculations that I put together. Are you all familiar with the Presby system?
Yep.
Okay, it's the larger pipes that sit in the washed sand. So the current system that's in the ground now is the traditional leach bed, which is a 55 by 25 by 6 inch deep crushed stone. So if we were to fill that leach bed up with water, the void ratio of that stone is about 30% of its area. So we can store about 206 gallons of water. Now, a gas station with a Dunkin' Donuts has a heavy amount of flow early in the morning. Most likely more than 206 gallons. They're multiple times that during the day. This system's designed on 1,000 gallons per day flow. Even though we have a good perk rate, the idea of that leaching facility is to be wet but not, drowned.
Right.
So, without opening it up and without doing all the science, we're concerned that that doesn't have a lot of capacity, the leach field. So what we're proposing is the Presby system, which are the 12-inch pipes, which are much larger. and mathematically you work that out, what we've done is within that same footprint, more or less, we're at 52 by 27, similar to the 55 by 25. We've spaced out the Presby pipes to the minimum requirement of 1.5 feet on center and filled that area with Presby pipes. So there's 17 lines that are 50 feet long. Now, the 4-inch pipe that leads into the Presby pipe is offset 7 inches from the bottom of the Presby pipe. You with me so far?
Yes.
So that we have that 7-inch capacity for 17 lines, 50 feet long. That math, we can store over 2,400 gallons of water in that area. So if we do have a heavy dose of flow use in the facility that goes to the tanks and out to the leach field, by putting in a large distribution box that then puts that flow equally to all 17 of those lines. Some Presby systems are in a serial, where they come out just once or twice, and then we're going to go out 17 times out of the distribution box and into those 17 lines equally. So what we're trying to do is, we know we have heavy flow here at peak times, but we want our leach field to be able to handle that peak flow and have time to rest during the day without killing the bacteria that are in there. So by increasing the volume of water that can be stored below that pavement, we still have that oxygen value. The Presby system survives greatly on oxygen flow, which the crushed stone system, there was a vent to it, but it probably wasn't a real strong venting system, and being under the pavement, it just got suffocated. The Presby system has a dual vent system. There's a low vent, which we're going to place up towards the front by the existing sign, and then out of the distribution box is the high vent. What that does is a constant airflow through that leach field, even though it's under the pavement. Plus, we have that 4 inches of gap between where the water would be and the top of that Presby pipe. So, in looking at the two designs comparatively, on 1,000 gallons per day flow, we're at that 1,300 square feet of leaching area. The Presby system typically allows up to a 40% reduction in size, but we're not taking that. We're keeping the leaching field the full size.
So you're not making it any bigger, no? This is just keep
Where-
it as it is.
We're keeping the leach field footprint the same size.
Yeah.
And then, if we were to size out the amount of Presby pipes needed for this site, based on its flow and a percolation rate per the manual, we need 500 linear feet. We're providing 850 linear feet. Again, just to make sure that we don't have this problem again in 8 years. The only difference is, and I talked to Jim a little bit about this, is the Presby system is an alternative system, like the FAST system, but they can't be combined. The FAST system has to be a pressurized system. The Presby system cannot be pressurized because it's too big of a pipe. So what we're doing at here is we are eliminating the use of the FAST system. Again, we're concerned about the peak flow and having the right amount of area for volume. And we're substituting that alternative system with the alternative leaching system instead. So we still have our grease trap, we'll still have the right amount of tanks to have, then a new pump chamber down here, and pumping up to this Presby system. So the other part is, like he was saying, this probably wasn't being maintained properly, which the Presby system doesn't require maintenance because it's an in-the-ground system that is working and has good success. Our experience with this is we do have another facility like this out in Westminster, right off of Route 2, near the Mount Wachusett Inn, or the former Mount Wachusett
I know
Inn.
what it is.
The gas station, Dunkin' Donuts, I'm not sure if that's one of yours, but that has a fairly large Presby system there as well. I talked to Wibby Swedberg, who's the health agent in Westminster, just this week, and they haven't had any complaints. We haven't heard of any complaints of failure. It's been in the ground for many years now.
Is it because they keep that tank clean a little bit?
Again, the tank is always full. I mean, once you use the amount of volume, it's full. It's once it gets out to the leach field, what's it doing? Are the bacteria doing their job? Now, the FAST system, again, you're cleaning it before it gets to the leach field, a good percentage. But, I mean, if you're getting 3 hours of just constant flow through there, and you're just flooding this, whatever happened, you know, we want this to keep working. And if it's flooded and killing the bacteria that are out there, it's not going to do its job. So that was our approach. We're trying to stay within the same footprint for another reason, which is we already have the existing tanks. We're trying to minimize how much disturbance we have on the, we still are maintaining the reserve area that was originally proposed next to it. But again, we like, you know, tear that out, replace it with good, clean system, sand, and a new system. And this design does require a couple local upgrade approvals. I'm not sure if she left you copies of that. If not, I have them here.
This is for, yeah, that's for the next one.
Which under Title V, 310 CMR 154051B, an increase in the maximum allowable depth of a system component required by 310 CMR 152217 from 36 inches to 72 inches provided H20 loading. And we're providing that, and the proposed pump chamber, this unit here, is going to be buried 54 inches below grade. So we're greater than the 3 feet, but we're not greater than the 72, so we're in that window.
Changing the surface grade?
We are not changing the surface grade, no. Again, because it's a consistent parking lot
Yeah.
now. And then the required of the 5-foot separation between the bottom of the system and the high groundwater elevation to 3 feet 8 inches in accordance with the DEP remedial use for EnviroSeptic. Again, because we don't want to change the grade of the parking lot, we're reducing the groundwater offset with the Presby system. So there's the Presby pipe, and then there's 6 inches of sand, and then the bottom of the sand is our offset.
Okay.
So it's measured.
Where's groundwater?
The groundwater on this site is, it'll be 3 point, what do we have? The percolation rate out here was, we had a 2-minute and a 3-minute inch per inch, and we're at 3.67 feet above the groundwater. And the groundwater on this site is good sandy soil. One of the holes was 62 inches, 66 inches, and no modeling shown in the other 2 older test holes, so.
Is it modeling or water?
It is an estimated seasonal high water table, yes.
Did you hit water?
We had water at 8 feet. That was in August of '06. So, you know, the water table currently is at around 5 feet right now. But again, to raise that grade, we'll change all the drainage on the property with all the
Yeah.
curbs and everything else,
So you
so.
try to tell me when this is all done, it's gonna, taking care of the maintenance, that's gonna last much longer.
In our opinion, it's gonna be a longer lasting system, in our opinion. I mean, we can't predict what people put down the drain, we can't,
No,
but
I know, but
going from a
That's a busy
leaching
place.
field that if it was flooded only holds 200 gallons to over 2,400 gallons, I think is a big improvement. So rather than asking an electronic component that needs maintenance to do the introduction of oxygen, we're using a leach field instead.
When you're in the Presby, you said it's oxygenated, right?
It's
It
heavily, yeah,
relies on
it's vented,
oxygen.
dual vented, so there's a draw of air through the whole system.
So it looks like the FAST system is a contained system? And
That's
then
in the
you're-
contained
Yeah.
unit here.
So you were saying that you couldn't use the FAST system with the Presby?
Correct.
And what's the reason for that?
This is called the secondary treatment unit by DEP. and
The
all-
FAST?
The FAST, JET, and a couple other ones. And those units can only be connected to a pressurized leaching field. And a pressurized leaching field,
Why
meaning.
is that?
I don't know why they do that,
Yeah,
but
isn't-
that's what it
Because if it's
says.
contained, then you'd just be
Right.
discharging through it.
Because they want it to be then sent out and evenly distributed throughout the whole field. Rather than a D-box, it goes to a manifold, and the whole system's pressurized and it drips through.
Yeah.
equalize.
Right, but like I said, during a peak flow, that pump's sending stuff out constantly, and that field is just getting loaded with water.
Yeah.
So, yes, a secondary treatment has to be pressurized.
Because Jim's notes are that he recommends using the fast, and I'm not,
Right. And I talked to him today about it. I said, Jim, do you realize the secondary treatment unit has to be pressurized?
but we don't have anything from him
I
saying that.
understand that. Because he,
I'm sorry about that.
no, I understand.
But-
I brought the secondary treatment unit standard conditions with me. See if I can pinpoint where they exactly say that.
When are you planning to go into construction?
This past September. As soon as we get approval, we'll be looking to.
Yeah, I'm sure you want to take care of
Go
it
ahead as soon as we can in the spring, I suppose, at this point, so,
in the spring.
yeah.
Okay. So if it's spring, maybe we can wait till we get the notes from Jim. And,
Jim had one other
That's it.
revision on the plan, which we did make. I
Yeah.
have copies of that, but.
I mean, it sounds reasonable, it's just that when we're sitting here with notes saying one thing, we kind of.
Understood.
It's a better thing for you guys to have a paper trail that is correct, because then there's no misunderstanding later on. At least that's my opinion.
So what was Jim's response when you talked to him today about it?
He then remembered, yes, his reaction on the phone was, oh, yeah, you can't use secondary treatment units with the Presby system. The Presby system can't be pressurized. So, I'm just trying to see it, if this jumps out as being exactly. I would have put it right at the beginning. I should have put my finger on it, but I can talk to Jim, and again, he said he didn't send the permit over because he had a revision that needed to be
So if
corrected
you're
as
not,
well.
if you're not planning construction till the spring, it sounds like if waiting a couple of weeks for this wouldn't make a difference.
At this point, yeah.
I know it
We
would-
can't, yeah, we can't do much at this point
Be hard to
for
pave
construction,
now.
so.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it would be first thing in the spring, so if, that's not preferred, but if that's
Yeah,
what
I
we need
know.
to do, then we've, as I
I don't
said, we've
think
been
you-
looking to get this ball rolling, because
I
we've
don't think
had, so what we're doing now is we're constantly having the
Yeah.
tanks pumped, as much as a couple times a week to keep
I know, yeah.
that system as free of the additional
Yeah,
fluid
I'm
as
sure
we
you want
can.
it to work more than pretty much anyone.
Yeah. Pumping is a costly endeavor,
It is.
so. I mean, I understand you're wanting confirmation of that with Jim, and I can't put my finger right on it right
Yeah.
now, unfortunately. But my experience is such that I believe I'm correct, but I'll double check again with Jim.
It's,
Makes sense. I'll find it as soon as I get to my truck, I'm sure.
yeah.
Okay, we can continue
Yeah.
this to the next meeting, which is January 9th.
As long as there isn't any other, if that's the only question that we want to settle, so that we prepared for that. Any other concerns, or?
Mr.
So,
Chairman,
Gino, any
I'll be-
question?
Yeah, I'll be here tomorrow morning. I think maybe Jim's gonna be here tomorrow, if he is, or Thursday. So I can inquire and let him know, because they can't do nothing at the moment. At least he's aware of it, that they came, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah, he knows we were coming tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he might call you up and let you know, Shelley might give us the okay.
I'll be in touch
Yeah,
with
no
Jim.
problem. I'm sorry this happened, because
Yeah, it's
that's a lot of
apologize.
money you guys spend on this.
Is there a way we can administratively take care of this so they don't have to come back?
So we can.
Contingent upon Jim's-
Contingent, right,
That's
on- yeah,
exactly what I was
yeah.
thinking, is
Contingent on.
make a contingency
Yeah,
on
yeah.
clarification
So
from
they don't
Jim
have
that
to come
that's not
back,
needed.
yes. We can
So
do
how
that.
do we,
You can ask for a motion for that.
so we don't sign it tonight? So how does that work?
So
Where-
Jim can put in the file a note, he can update the note. If we say approve it based on contingent of Jim doing that,
Yeah,
Jim would put that in the file. Shelley would get us, as she does, via us coming in at different hours, when
sign.
available, and sign it.
The permit.
And that way we don't have to, they don't have to come back at a future
Right.
meeting.
Make it-
We don't
make it-
have to take care of it. We take care of it here on a contingency, and then we sign it after the fact, once Jim clarifies the note to be put into the
that
file.
would be fine
Okay.
with me.
Okay, so someone want to make a motion?
Make a motion to, contingency of, oh dear Lord. Okay. On behalf of, okay, Title 5 of the 310 you're talking about. You want me to read the whole thing?
I think we've read them, so
Alright.
I
I
think.
read them, they're in the
yep,
record, you can
yep.
say as
As
presented.
read.
As
Yep.
presented, all right. Make a motion as presented on the letter that you have from David Associate, and we will give this to Jim consideration, and then he will let us come and sign the permits.
So it's contingent on Jim's
Yeah,
approval.
so-
Right.
So, can you want to clarify that?
Yeah, so this is contingent on Jim Gareffi, the health agent, agreeing that the FAST system cannot be used with the Presby, or it should not be used with the Presby on this site, and the Presby alone without the FAST system is acceptable.
Just leave me one of those, okay?
And at that point, the Board of Health will
Yeah.
sign the permit.
Excellent.
Okay, we have a motion to approve.
Second.
There we go.
All in
All in
favor?
favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all right. It's approved based on contingency, and then we'll follow up.
Sure, sounds perfect. Great.
Jim and Shelley will get back with you, no
All right.
doubt. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
So did we get notification from?
My guess
Shelley.
is Shelley.
Okay,
Shelley will let you guys know.
okay, very good.
That's a
Thank you.
good presentation.
Oh, thank you.
I was gonna recommend he do all the talking, but I see I didn't have to.
Good. That's right.
All right. I
Good night,
remember
thank
my
you.
legs this time over here, I left them last time.
Oh, did you?
In case there was a crowd, I always bring a leg.
Just in case, we don't get many people here at
I
the
know,
Board of Health meetings.
Sometimes we do.
When there's been occasions.
Wasn't sure if this one would draw a crowd. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
All right, I want to close the hearing on 25 King Street. It is 7:40, so I will open the hearing. We are continuing to the January 9th, 2008 meeting, the public hearing on 21 Park Drive. We will not discuss that here. That'll be at the next meeting. And I'll open the public hearing on 41 Tehadawon Road for a sewage disposal upgrade. Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello.
I'm Dick Nolan, ABC Cesspool Company, and I'm representing Mr. Lesage and his upgrade for his septic system. We need a variance for use of the Presby system. And also a variance for the fact that we could not do a test hole because of the depth of the fill that existed on the site, so we couldn't get down into the ground to do the test hole. So the material went to geotesting, and they came back with a...
You couldn't dig through the material?
We dug through it, but the hole was unsafe. In other words, to go down in the hole with a shovel and then start digging out
Right.
a perk, it would have been above my shoulders, and
Oh, okay, so the
OSHA
groundwater
says-
was deep.
yes, it was because of the fill, yeah. And OSHA says that, you can't do that. So I put together a plan, or I should say my people put together a plan for a Presby system that's 2 feet, designed 2 feet above where we found the redox. And talking with Jim about it, his recommendation was to raise it up another foot
So it'd be 3 feet.
3 feet, yes. And I don't agree with that. I think the 2 feet is adequate, considering the fact that the perk rate there is 30 minutes an inch, so it isn't like we're going to have gangs of water flowing through the system carrying the material off. And of course, the other major objection to it is the increase in cost. It's going to bring the bottom of the bed up 1 more foot. It's going to take about between 30 and 40 yards of septic sand, which is about $30 a yard in place. So there's $1,200 there, and it's going to take another 250 to 300 cubic yards of fill material to make the breakout right. So we're looking at another probably $7,000 or $8,000 in additional cost. And I don't see any environmental benefit to doing that.
Excuse me. So that's what you talked with Jimmy, right?
Yes,
And we 95%, we agree with Jim's
okay,
statements,
yeah.
you know,
Okay.
his advice, but the
So
board.
let's walk through the
Yeah.
designs, if you will.
Okay.
So I've got, if you want to,
I've got
I've got
different,
one here I
I've
can
got
look
different
at.
variations of the same plan, because we had a barrier in one of them that Jim had, and I had that plan with me, and also I brought a plan with 3 feet of, for the 3 feet of sand.
Is there any way you can convince Jimmy that might be a good idea to have?
I spoke with him about it, and he said that he's opposed to it, so I don't know what I can do to
What's
convince him.
what's his reasoning for?
He's not, he says, yeah, well, that's, the redox is where it is, and the state does say, yeah, you can build 2 feet above it, but because of the fill there, he doesn't feel that,
good.
he wants to
He wants to make
err
sure.
on the side of caution. That piece of property is up onto Hattawan Road, and on the opposite side of the street, there's a slope that's probably 50
Oh,
or
on
60
the right.
feet high.
I know what it is.
And Bill's house is the one that, the roof is level with the road. So my position is that when they put the road in, they cut off the
Lot of soil.
groundwater.
Yeah.
Then his driveway is 8 feet lower than the road. So if they missed any of it up in the road, they cut it off again. And then the house foundation is 8 feet deep, and the back is a walkout, so there's probably another 4 to 8 foot concrete wall in the back. So I don't really see that as a
As a benefit.
deterrent to put it in at the 2 feet above the redox of the.
So am I reading the contour lines correctly?
Yes.
That,
Oh, boy.
that the road is,
We didn't contour the front, but I took some pictures
yeah.
today.
But I'm looking at the back.
I see.
The back is 50 feet? The yard is 50 feet below the road?
No, not at all.
And okay, so I am misreading.
How much
this.
land is
Could I
it?
see the
Okay.
pictures, just while you're talking?
The driveway is 8 feet lower than the road,
It's 8 feet lower.
Yeah.
Okay.
and then you have to walk down 12 8-inch steps to get to the level of the house foundation. So that's another 8 feet. The foundation is 8 feet, so we're at 24 feet. And then in the back, there's a 4 or 8 foot frost wall because it's a walkout cellar. And this whole system is pretty much right directly behind the house, so that any water that's coming down is going to be directed around the house anyway. Doesn't make sense of these.
If you put the Presby in with a 2 foot offset, how much of a grade increase are you going to have?
It's gonna look just like that.
Wait, so the existing is?
The existing grade behind the house is gonna stay the same.
Okay,
It's gonna stay the same if we do 3-foot, but the only problem is we have to make the breakout go out further, all the way around.
yeah, and then it'll go, so it's, you could put the Presby in with a 2-foot separation without increasing the surface grade?
Right.
Okay.
Actually, we can put the 3-foot presby without increasing the surface grade too at the house. The only place the grade is gonna change is in the breakout area.
Oh, okay.
Now, we had originally designed a poly barrier behind the system, but Jim said with the breakout area the way it is, that it wasn't
It doesn't.
necessary to take it out.
Yeah, so I guess that's another reason if they're not increasing the surface grade to go with the 3-foot separation rather than the 2-foot, because that would be compliant.
Well, it's compliant at 2 feet
It's compliant with 1 set, but not
with
approvals for
the
the
state
3-foot.
guidelines.
For the DEP.
Yeah. You just need approvals for that.
Yes.
So it's
yeah.
kind of a variance.
Yeah. Now, if we could put
So it's not Title V compliant.
yeah, it's Title V compliant too, because it's compliant. The DEP is the one that approved the system.
Yeah,
It's Jim's idea that it's not enough.
right, so it's compliant with Title V. The request is variance off of our local regs. That's a separate,
To do it.
to do it.
Yeah.
That's a separate thing.
But if you're gonna allow me to do it, the state regulations say that it can be built 2 feet above the water table, and it's Jim's, I don't know why he picked 3 feet, he could have picked 4 feet or whatever, but he picked 3 feet as what he wanted to increase it to.
Well, I think it's just to give some more environmental protection. That's what the separation is for.
Well, I mean, I request permission to disagree with you.
Yeah, no,
about
that's
that.
fine.
In a soil that's 30 minutes per inch, I don't think that you're worrying about environmental damage, because the water is going to move so slowly through the parent material that it's not going to matter. I think in reality, you could actually build the system right where the water table is and not harm a thing, where the redox is, and not harm a thing. And I'm not suggesting for 1 second that we do that.
Yeah.
The other thing that I would like you to consider, if we're gonna have to do it 3 feet, 3 feet below, could we put a poly barrier in there so that we don't have to increase the amount of breakout fill that's necessary?
How long did that's the cesspool, you had the cesspool before?
No, he's always had a septic.
The 500?
Oh, I'm not sure. The tank, I think, is 1,000 gallons. This system's 37 years old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
A lot of wear
Well,
on.
we got my life out of it, I'm not
Yeah.
complaining, it's just bad timing
Get
right
your money
now.
worth, yeah.
Well, my name of my company is Cesspool Company. I started it when I was 19 in 1961.
Wow.
And I wanted to make it seem like it was older, so that I was fooling people. When they picked up the phone, they thought they were talking to some old guy that knew everything.
That was smart.
And now I'm 75 and I still don't know everything. In fact, I don't know that I know a lot.
So,
I don't know.
all right, so that's an interesting suggestion, because it was something I was thinking. So Jim says you wouldn't need poly barrier because of the breakout,
Right.
but we could save some on the breakout
Save considerably on the
with
breakout.
a 3-foot offset by putting in the poly barrier. And by putting in the barrier, and what's behind?
There's a wetland way down in the back, and what I
See
would
the
request...
I'm just trying to figure out which
How
house it
far,
is.
how far is it?
That's not it.
25 feet?
That's not it.
Oh, that's not it.
The
Okay.
wetland?
How far is the wetland?
It's 97 feet, it's
Oh,
on
wow.
it's on the plan. But see, now, at 97 feet, I have to go to conservation.
Mhm.
If I could put the barrier in closer to the system,
Oh, yeah, that would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it?
then I can move everything back And I don't have to go to conservation, I could get it back far, I'm only 3 feet into the,
Yeah.
into the conservation.
Yeah.
So, yes, it would make a lot of sense. Which picture did you want to look at, or any of them?
Just any of them, I just wanted to see which house it
that's-
was. So I can,
That's, I get down as low as I could with my camera to
Okay.
take a picture of
just trying to,
the house from the road. And because of the snow, I think if I could have actually got it down on the asphalt, I would have been shooting the gutters. I'm sure, I think you're familiar with the house.
Yeah, I know it is.
Yeah.
It was Bill Superdo's house. He was before we got-
Okay, let me read Jim's response, just
Go
to
ahead.
put it into the records. For 41 Tehadawon Road, the sewage disposal system for this site is failing, and the homeowner are conserving water to prevent a system backup. Soil testing was conducted, and the applicant has submitted a design proposed replacement system. The site conditions make the design of a system in compliance with Title V and your regulations difficult, high water table and sloping backyard. The proposed design requires local upgrade approval from Title V, sieve analysis, and offset the groundwater. So requesting a reduction of the groundwater offset for the leaching area from 4 foot to 2 foot. In its approval of the Presby system, DEP allows boards to grant up to a 2-foot reduction. DEP requires applicants to install systems that achieve maximum feasible compliance with Title V and allows boards to grant reasonable variances local upgrade approval. It would appear the applicant could achieve a 3-foot offset, and I would recommend the board require a 3-foot versus a 2-foot offset. I don't have a problem with the request. The site is served by town water, and groundwater offset reduction will minimize additional grading needed for the installation of the system. So the question is, based on Jim's notes, is 2-foot reasonable or feasible? Is that the maximum feasible compliance with Title V? Or is 3-foot really maximum compliance with Title V? And the balance of that versus the extra work,
And extra money.
et cetera, that needs to be done, and with a 2-foot offset and a barrier, less breakout, and you're outside of that 100-foot
Yes.
radius from conservation lines.
But I think most towns, I don't do a lot of work in Littleton, well, you must know that because you've never seen it, but,
That's right.
yeah,
That's why I looked, I said, it says cesspool.
yeah.
I never see this guy before.
Yeah. In most towns, we're allowed to put the barrier right at the edge of the sand fill. Now, if we can do that, and the water's not gonna travel anywhere past the
Over there.
sand, and we can pull
Little bit back.
the breakout fill back, and then again, as I said, we don't have to worry about
Conservation, yeah.
conservation.
and why didn't he, I'm sorry, I know you've said this twice, but why didn't he want you to put the barrier?
Well, the way it's designed there, we don't need a barrier,
Right,
because we have the fill.
okay. I thought
breakout fill. We'll
I thought
take in barrier.
he said that he didn't think a barrier was a good idea here.
It's not necessary,
Okay,
just because of the breakout fill.
Yeah, so I think if you're talking a 3-foot offset,
Yeah.
and then with the additional breakout, it's not necessary, and I think that's where Jim was getting, right, as I understand it.
If we go with a 3-foot offset, then we have to increase the amount of
Right.
breakout. If we go with the barrier, then our breakout slope can start at the edge of the barrier, 5 feet beyond the barrier, and go down. So this whole bottom line here is gonna move
That's what.
in. Yeah. So that would almost offset the cost of the additional septic sand that's gonna be required for the 3-foot offset.
So how much does it cost you, this all big job here? 30?
30 right now.
It's probably a little over 30. I haven't arrived at a cost yet because I
Yeah.
don't know.
I'm thinking about 30 right now,
Yeah.
and then whatever,
Plus whatever change we make here if we have to go.
So, yeah, we had a sewage treatment, you don't have any problems, see?
We talked get all the way up there. Aaron, what are your thoughts?
So-
My thoughts are, I tend to go with Jim, because he's the health agent, and you make a good argument, though. So,
Well, I've been
I-
doing this longer than Jim.
I know you have, I know. I guess I'd have to go with Jim.
I think,
And then maybe you want to go talk to him about the barrier.
When is the planned
gonna start.
construction? When was what's the target
As
for
soon as
that?
we can get going, we've been working on this since when, the end of August?
Well, the system was failed at the beginning of August, so I've been trying to
Yeah,
get the
I
ball
got
rolling
involved
since
in it,
then.
I got-
When you gonna start, if you start? When?
Right away.
Not with the winter, not now.
Well, it depends on how the weather is, but.
Yeah,
we
you
want
never
it
know.
down as soon as
Yeah.
we possibly can.
60
Right now,
degrees.
they're taking showers at work,
Oh, boy.
doing their laundry at the laundromat.
We're just flushing toilets and washing dishes, and that's about it. Trying to-
I 99% I agree with Jim, but this is gonna be like an exception that, not only because it's gonna cost more money, but because it really is just common sense, you know what I'm saying?
So we need a basis for the exception, I think, just to be equal for,
Mhm.
because we usually go with Jim.
no, you're right,
And there's a
right.
possibility of doing it here. And we need an exception that's beyond cost, because that's always an issue. And believe me, I feel for you, but,
No, actually, from this side of the table,
yeah.
I wouldn't be here just for cost, because I think it's, the most important thing to do is to protect the environment, but I don't see
You don't see any,
any benefit to just bring in truckloads of fill and dump them, and they're not gonna do anything. I've been digging these things out for a long time. And the furthest I have ever seen
55
a
years.
system, 57 years, but who's counting? The furthest I've ever seen leachate travel laterally from a system, and this would be in sand, is 5 feet. Most of them you dig out, it's like 3 feet, but what happens is it starts at the bottom and it goes down, and then you get an umbrella and it just keeps working out, and by the time it gets to the top of the stone, it's a maximum of 5 feet. And here we're talking about 5 feet of sand plus another 10 feet of breakout material, and it's just, I believe it's just overdoes it. And like I say, most towns will allow us to put the barrier in at the 5-foot level and go another 5 feet, and then start the breakout fill going down.
I don't know.
It's interesting, in 3 years, I've never heard Jim give this sort of guidance before.
Yeah, well, I've only been here.
So, where typically it's like, yeah, well, 2 foot, that's fine, sure, you could do more, but now normally I think we're talking about much smaller lots where the space is an issue
And the surface grade's going up.
in the surface.
And
we're
so
doing
you've
that.
got really
We're at the
steep
opposite, we have a
side
bigger
slopes.
lot and it's sloping down.
So that's the
I'm
thing
not-
about being fair and
I'm not
reasonable.
arguing against the 3 feet anymore. I mean, what I'd like to do is arrive at a compromise where we can do the 3 feet under the system and put the barrier in.
Well, why don't we do 3 feet and contingent on Jim's approval of the barrier?
That's exactly what I was
Oh,
sort of
okay.
thinking. So, no, it sounds to me, again, we want to make sure
Because that gives
we.
you an option to go in and try to figure it out with him.
Right, so it's the same sort of, right, the approach. So to move the process along and
Yeah.
eliminate, you're waiting till January 9th for the next meeting and to have another discussion. If we approve this on contingents with a 3-foot offset with a barrier, contingent on Jim reviewing it and agreeing with that approach, then we can sign off on this after the fact. Again, relatively short order, I think.
Well, do
and
they
get moving
need,
on
do they
this.
need a variance for the barrier?
I don't think he needs
It's
it.
part of the design, isn't it?
No, we don't need, we're just saying,
But I think we're just voting on.
We're just voting on
variance
those, that's true,
On the
yeah.
3 feet, so we can just say the 3 feet, and you can work the barrier out with him, I think.
'Cause without the barrier, well, now I gotta go to conservation.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
another,
well, it's not- yeah,
it's
we're gonna
another,
say-
yeah.
We're gonna say probably 300 cubic yards of fill,
Yeah,
if we put a barrier.
but I think we can just vote on the 3 feet.
Yeah, okay.
And then you can go to Jim and make the case for the barrier.
All right, do you want to take, then Aaron, you want to take
Oh,
a shot
sure.
at,
Yeah. So,
is that the most updated?
Is that one that's one with 2 feet or 3 feet?
this is 3 foot,
That's
3 foot.
Okay.
So this is ABC cesspool plan for 41 Tehadawon Road, Littleton, Massachusetts, dated October 17, 2017. And the request for variance is for a local upgrade approval, 310 CMR 15.405I, to allow the use of a sieve analysis instead of a percolation test in accordance with DEP policy dated January 7, 2000. Second, request permission from the board to allow the use of the Presby AES system with a 3-foot separation to groundwater.
All right, do we,
I'll make it a motion
have,
to
so
pass
we have a
that.
motion, do we, Gino, do we have a second?
I guess you got me right, you choked me. All right, I second.
Any further discussion? If not, all in favor of the motion as read, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? All right, motion carries.
Now, what
If I can talk
What
to
impetus-
Jimmy, maybe
what
ask.
impetus does he have to want to put a barrier in if you guys just approve the system as it's drawn with no barrier?
Well, that's what I'm saying, the approval's really, and the sign off is contingent on,
Yeah, so the
That
approval is
discussion.
of the variances.
Okay.
but the signing off on the permits are contingent on Jim,
Yeah.
you and Jim getting
Ready to
together and him agreeing, and him, again, providing into the file, you know, a note. and-
Do you know, you'll help him out with
And
it.
clarifying that a
I
barrier will
hope he
be
comes tomorrow. yeah.
used, and then we don't have to worry about the
Talk to Jim.
breakout.
Gino's going to help you out.
Why don't you put your number here? Telephone number.
It's on the plan.
When it says cesspool. See the cesspool?
Okay.
There, put it. Put your telephone
I'm going to
number.
give you my cell phone number.
Yeah.
I'll give you my office number too, but if you want
Yeah.
my cell phone.
Put your name and your cesspool. And your portable cesspool. Then tomorrow, I hope he's gonna show up. If he comes Thursday, I'll come back Thursday. I'm doing this for you guys.
Thank you.
Because this guy choked me. Bleh.
Who choked you?
Both of you guys.
In a way, I don't fully understand why there is such a thing as a variance hearing, because you ask for a variance, and typically, every board I've ever sat before said, well, we can't do that because we've never done that before.
Oh, no. Actually, you don't really need a variance.
Huh?
It's only, you don't need a variance.
Well, I did need a variance for the,
For,
for the,
for the 3 feet,
Yeah.
actually, they will give you automatically without even any problem. It's
Yeah.
only 3 feet.
yeah.
What if you were asking for variance for 40 feet?
Yeah.
All right?
Yep,
So we do give variance for 40 feet too.
okay.
Go back, this is a little off the subject, but I went to the Board of Appeals many years ago because I put a shed up on this property. And we spent an hour talking about this much setback. It's not a nightclub, it's just a shed.
Yeah.
And everyone you see in the street is as close, if not. So the variance, I mean, I don't understand what the.
Was there
I
a
guess that
butter,
was-
were there a butters there?
It was a setback thing.
Yeah, I know, but were there a butters saying, I don't want that shed near
No,
my?
no butters. It was just, there wasn't enough setback. I was short a foot.
I guess the thing is that we have laws for a reason, because the community.
Oh, I get it, I just,
And it's hard because you have to be consistent with people.
fortunately, two of the people on the board actually went by the property and saw that because my driveway goes down and back up again, that there is kind of a hardship. Otherwise, I gotta get the snow blower up the stairs onto the driveway,
Right, right.
and it went through. It's just that I thought it was
Did I give you a copy of the plan with the three?
No, you didn't give us a copy.
The 3-foot.
Give me one of those copies.
I didn't give you any copies.
So I think this is the one with the 2 foot.
Let me give the other one.
Let's see.
So the 2 foot's out, we gotta go with the 3, correct?
Yes,
Okay, this is a copy of the 2 foot.
yeah, this is a copy of the 2 foot. So I have 2 copies, one, they're both of the 2 foot with the barrier.
Okay, well, it should be,
That's what Shelley had given us.
oh, okay. So,
So Jimmy wants the 3 and we got that 2. Wait. I open it.
Okay, this one is for 3 feet.
That's 3 feet?
Yeah.
All right.
Now, would you like me to just take a pen and draw where I'd like to put the barrier?
Yeah,
Okay.
that probably makes
Yes.
sense.
Yeah, mark it. Tell me you want 2 feet.
No,
I like you. I like all of you.
I like my board too, so I gotta be careful.
Yeah. Okay.
It's 12:12 today.
yes, it is. Only 8 more working days.
You look tired, man, huh? You're not coming out tonight, you're not coming tonight. I forgive you.
I gotta
You
get,
look
thank you.
tired.
Thank you.
Is your daughter a cheerleader?
No, she stopped after 8th grade. Rock, please.
There you are, sir.
No problem, Mr. Cesspool.
Not a cheerleader. You want to keep that for the study files.
Mr. Cesspool.
Excellent.
Funny, I was looking back through my records. I did a system across the street
Yeah.
and down a couple of houses back in 1977. I'll show you a copy of the permit. It says, "Keep it as high as possible."
I was going to say, it's probably written on a cocktail napkin, right?
I don't have to show it to you.
Keep as high as
We were
possible.
one generation beyond that, but yeah. It's funny, when I look back, I worked with Henry Smith when he was still in the Shovel Board of Health. I don't know
Yeah.
if you've even heard of him.
I heard about him.
Yeah, he was there in the very early 60s.
You remember Casanari?
Oh, yes,
How he passed away?
yeah, I heard that. He was here for a long time.
Yeah.
In fact, I think he invented the Littleton Board of Health, didn't he?
Well, no, he instituted, like, he wanted to make sure from 3 to 5, they used to have 3 members.
Yeah. Yeah. I sat before him a few times.
He was tough.
Yeah, very tough.
He wasn't as good as this guy.
Me?
Both of you, all three of you.
I'm a kitty cat.
As soon as I started to talk sense, you would have thrown me out of the room.
Yes, sir.
Really?
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
See you later.
Good luck. I hope it
Thank you
gets
for
done
coming.
quickly.
Wish you a lot of luck. Well, no,
Okay, that was the
Motion.
last thing on the agenda. Anything else?
nothing else.
Motion to adjourn.
Second,
All in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Aye.
go shut the thing, please. All right, I hope you feel better next time.